Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Razak at CMTrading. Today is March 15, 2023, and today is Wednesday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, Metaverse, formerly known as Facebook, gaps up and goes higher. But first, looking at the major economic events of today. So starting out at 2:30 South African time out of Great Britain, we have an annual budget release coming out, and simultaneously at the same time we have out of the United States retail sales numbers coming out, and also a producer's price index, a PPI number, which is an inflation report on the producer side coming out later today. So there could be some major moves if there are any surprises. Now looking at the various markets, starting out with the Forex symbols, pretty much unchanged across the board, and as we look at the indices, didn't do much yesterday and unchanged as well. When we look at commodities, gold looks to retrace what oil is sitting on support. Now looking at the stocks, it was the tech stocks that lifted the markets higher. And lastly, looking at Bitcoin, showing some strength and resiliency towards its resistance. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. We're going to take a look at the Euro USD first, and you can see how much of a consolidated place we've been over the past couple of days. And that's okay. It was a bit of a roller coaster ride over the past year and a half, but we're looking like as if we're pretty much, on a larger scale, consolidating, around this 106, 107-ish level. So keep that in mind as we're looking at that today. GBP USD, same story. And looking at the Australian dollar, also the same story. So there is a consolidation until there's some sort of a bigger move. I do imagine that consumer confidence on Friday will move the market as well. So just be aware of it. Now, jumping into commodities before we get into the U.S. markets. Now, look at this nice retracement from gold. Gold moved vertically $100, and it's now retracing to 1888. Now, the midpoint of about 1850 would be where I would look for a retracement level 2. And it's usually a 50% retracement, and that would put us somewhere over here between these two crossing moving averages. This is important, when you have a moving average that is a 30-day that crosses over the 8-day moving average on the downside, that shows some weakness. So just be aware that this may be a further correctional move here. Now looking at crude oil, we are trading at that bottom of the range, getting to $71. That's where we are, and that is supportish level. So $71 is a supportish level. I would imagine that we would bounce off of it and go back up to that $80 because we've been doing that for the past 4 times over the past month and a half to 2 months. So this is something to consider as a possible buy. Now looking at the U.S. markets, the Dow Jones didn't do much yesterday, 32,345, just hovering in a very tight range. So did the NASDAQ, didn't do much also, towards the upper part of its range, but it does have significant resistance at this 12,400. So I'd like to see a further incline, a further push higher. Now we got it from certain stocks yesterday. So let's just jump into it. Facebook, Metaverse, had a gap and go back to its highs of 194. That's a decent move. If we look at another very important stock called Intel, Intel moved higher yesterday after gapping up over the past couple of days. And there's buying here. There's significant buying here. And you can see on a 4-hour chart, it's getting close to its 200-day moving average. It's a little bit off still as we look at a longer time frame, but on a 4-hour chart, that is significant. That's a very significant factor. If it does cross over and does close over, that could be a correctional move, and we could see a shifting in the market. Now looking at Tesla, also gained yesterday as well. So did the other major stocks, like Microsoft gained nicely. That's an extension to that upwards momentum, upwards trend, and that's what we like to see. So I would suffice it to say that today would continue that trend on the upside. Now lastly, looking at Bitcoin, we pushed higher yesterday to 26,000, and we sold off, and so all intents and purposes it's still at resistance-ish level, but it's showing some strength. If we look at a weekly chart, you can see that it broke above that 200-day moving average. That's significant. But it needs to sell above it for us to get a clear indication that it's really strong, and I do expect a follow through. So keep an eye on this, because if it does consider and still gravitate around its highs, we could see it push higher. This is Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.